From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Cummins.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
And Corey Clark.
Wake up! It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Cummins. Coming up on today's show is FSU Forever and Ever, a football school. What's a director of strategy? And we're generating discussion sparked by Cummins. Wake Up Warchant presented by Cummins. CumminsLifestyle. Follow them on Instagram. See all the awesome things you can do when you got portable, reliable, quiet power in your arsenal. They've been doing it for over 100 years. They have the world's best-selling installed RV generator in the world, everybody. Cummins Lifestyle. Follow them on Instagram. It is the Mailbag Show. This is going to be in video the entire time today. So if you're listening to us on the audio version, we always appreciate and love you. If you're on the YouTube version, you're welcome. You get to see our faces.
You get to see us. You get to see us now. The ratings are going to go through the roof.
Yeah, Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. We're always stepping up for you folks, myself and Corey included. Corey, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I just literally, as we're recording this, I just drove up from Tallahassee to Atlanta. So I got here just in time to record this with you, Aslan. So I'm excited.
Did we catch Brady playing baseball?
No, didn't make it in time. His team won. He took an offer, but that's fine. We're about the team around here. We're about the team around here.
He's like Trey Wisner. He's about. I don't care about my stats, Trey Wisner. He just he wants team success.
Wants to be a part of the team. Wants to be a leader. So So they scored 9 runs to the team. He scored 0 of them, but hey, he made some plays in center field to help the other team not score any runs. So that works.
Just his presence. That's right.
His presence was the big reason.
Yeah. Before we jump into the mailbag, 2 things I wanted to touch on. Softball. The softball team, Lonnie and company, are down in Clearwater at the Shriners tournament, which has got the best teams pretty much in the nation every single year the last few seasons here. And they took on number 1, Texas Tech. Is Texas Tech number 1 in the country and fell by 1 run. They actually had the lead. They struck first. Yeah. But Texas Tech was able to hang on. Beecham had a RBI at double to draw them within 1 run, but they ultimately fell short.
Well, did you see the end of it? So they're down 3-2. Ashton to start the 7th. Najee Kennedy didn't pitch at all the first 6 innings. They brought in. They had a transfer from UCLA that started in his I think she won 20-something games last year. So she started the game and pitched the first 6. Danley leads off with a single, and they're like, okay, let's bring in Kennedy. Now's the time. So they bring in the best pitcher in the country. She faces, I think her name is Anna Hind. I'm sorry, I'm still learning these names.
It is Hind. It's Hind. You're right.
So the first 2 batters she's going to face are 2 true freshmen. Anna Hyde hits a ball squarely but flies out to right field. Runner on first, 1 out. I believe the young lady's name, she's a freshman. Again, it's her 6th name. I think it's Haley Griggs. Is that somebody?
Yes.
Might want to check that to make sure, but crushes one to left field. Crushes one to left field. Looks like it's going to be a 2-run homer. The left fielder catches it at the top of the fence. I don't think she took a home run away, but she definitely took an extra base hit away. It turns around and because the runner was running on contact, it ends up being a game-ending double play. So that's a tough way to lose, but by God, if you're Lonnie, watching what that pitcher did to you last year for basically 2 full games, you have 2 freshman at-bats against her in the 7th inning. Now, I know it's February. You fly out to right, and you crush one to left that's caught at the fence. These 2 freshmen, they weren't afraid or overwhelmed by the moment, so that was good to see, and they weren't going to go undefeated. It's a tough loss, but it was a quality loss.
And this doesn't really have to do with Florida State, but Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback from Ole Miss, the NCAA denied his waiver for a sixth season. I can't say 6th or shoulder surgery fast often. I always trip him up, something about that. But hey, he found a nice judge in Mississippi that's an Ole Miss alum, and he granted him a temporary injunction and gave his eligibility back. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, nothing really big to dive into, but I guess we just grow every day, one day closer, I guess, to the NCAA just folding and just having absolutely no jurisdiction over it.
The college sports will be run by judges who will apparently let you play 10 years if you want. I don't know why Terrence Mann isn't starting for Luke Laux right now. He's isn't he like the assistant GM or something? He's got Terrence Mann has some title within the program. Yeah, just become a player. Come back and become a player, man. Somebody's going to – there's some judge out there that will be like, yeah, sure, you should be able to play.
All right, let's play the mailbag, everybody. Your favorite part of the week. We get to it. Let's get the video component involved. Since we're already on camera, we'll show you the question. I'll just try to read it verbatim so I don't screw it up. Candy Knoll, our weekly winner from a few weeks back. Since facilities really isn't the end-all in recruiting anymore, wouldn't it be fun if at the end of every academic year, the athletic team that had the most success got to move into the football-only facility for a year? I would love to see women's soccer get a little luxury space until men's football got itself figured out. If this imaginary system happened, how many other athletic teams at FSU would get to spend time in the FOF before the football team made it back? Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's a funny question. Obviously soccer, softball, baseball, golf, men's golf. By the way, shout out. Tiger Woods' kid is coming, everyone. That's right. Charlie Woods coming in a couple years. And he's not the biggest recruit in that class by a long shot. Miles Russell, I think that's his name, Miles Russell, is one of the best junior players in the world. And he's coming into Florida State too, so that should be a lot of fun in a couple years. I would say, honestly, Aslan, and this isn't I'm not being facetious or sarcastic, going just on the last 2 years, every sport on campus would get to use that football's not better than football is the worst sport on campus right now, right?
Yeah, men's golf's better, beach volleyball's better.
Maybe women's basketball is close, or men's basketball the last 2 years, but I'd still say the last 2 years, no, because they had Tanaya Latson last year. Yeah. So women's basketball's outperformed them, men's basketball's outperformed them. Cross country, I don't know how great they are, but yeah, man, all of them. To answer your question, Candy, all of them.
Lacrosse, they haven't done anything yet. They haven't earned it.
Undefeated, baby. They haven't lost yet. They haven't lost. Hey, they're taking their first road trip this weekend. They're in California.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Yeah. For them. Speaking of Charlie Woods, let's go to our resident golfer down in Naples, Mark M. Adams CZ. Wake up. Really excited for the baseball season to kick off. I don't like saying sports kick off that aren't football, Corey. Like basketball season's about to tip off. What would we say for baseball? Because there's no kicking involved in baseball.
Yeah, I don't know. A pitch off, but that's not a thing.
I can't say tee off because that's golf. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe somebody smarter than me out there knows. But anyhow, I was asking people, generating questions.
How about tee off? Tee off could work because you hit off a tee, kind of.
Well, that's golf, though. I
know. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, basically just asking folks, like, are you just forlorn waiting for football to return, or are you trying to figure out some other sports that Florida State's really good at to help pass the time? He says he's really excited for baseball. But the news of the week for FSU athletics was Charlie Woods' commitment, which got me thinking about a dream FSU golf foursome. What 3 FSU athletes or coaches, past or present, would round out your foursome? Can't say Coach Bowden because that's a given.
Right. Okay.
I'd go with Jameis, which, by the way, shout out Jameis, said he's donated over $1 million to the university, to the athletics program.
Nice.
Shout out. He'd go with Janikowski, obvious fun, and Chris Ricks. He says he played 18 with Ricks at a booster event about 9 years ago. Super guy, would want him in there. Go Noles.
I bet Ricks would be. I've only met Chris Ricks one time, and it was a few years ago, right? He had his kids there. At the post-game press conference. Yeah. He was very nice, even though he knows I've probably joked about him a little bit too much in the last decade or so. But I feel like he's probably – I don't know because I didn't know him in 2003 and 2002. But I got the idea. I got the impression he was very high on himself. He's a big fan of Chris Ricks back then.
He was.
I think with some distance and some growing up and maturing, I think he's probably a really genuinely nice guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it seems that every interaction somebody has talks about that they had with him here recently, say what a nice, and this was 9 years ago, I guess, but say what a nice guy is. So that's good to know. That's good to know because it didn't seem like it was trending in that direction when he was a young kid. At Florida State, but we all grow up. That's the part of going to college and becoming an adult and living life and learning. Do you have another group?
I mean, Brooks Koepka, I think would be cool.
Yeah, man. The problem with that is could I ride with them but not play? You know what I mean?
You wanna
Because I don't
watch
want Brooks
spectate?
Koepka to. I don't want Brooks Koepka to watch me play golf.
We'll play best ball. And Kenny Shaw. Kenny Shaw's taken up golf here lately. I think Kenny would be a good time.
I think Timmy Jernigan was always fun to talk to. Terrence Brooks from that group, the 2013 team that I try to think of. Buster Posey, maybe. I love Devin Travis. Yeah, there's too many. I couldn't pick just three. And it's also, what am I trying to accomplish? Have a lot of fun, have really in-depth, insightful conversations, win. Like, it all matters what my goal is out there to who I'd want to play with. But no way I'll play with Brooks Koepka, because I think he doesn't seem like the kind of person that would suffer playing 18 holes with someone like me.
That's true, right? But go on, man. Just pick it up, man. Pick it up.
Yeah. We got to go. Go. Like, I don't think he would take kindly to me looking for my ball for 6 minutes on my 155-yard drive.
Who else we got here? Oh, I'm glad. Tribe 86. All right, so somebody actually posted a comment on YouTube asking how to get involved in the mailbag show, and I posted the thread, and I braced a little bit for people being, oh, man, I didn't know it was for subscribers only, which this is for subscribers at warchant.com, but our guy's on YouTube. He's also over on warchant.com. How long has he been around? He's been around since December 2024. That's a heck of a time to have joined. Welcome to the Terror Zone.
Hey, it's not your fault. I know you probably think it's your fault, Tribe. It's not your fault. It had nothing to do with you.
A little bit more of a serious note. With football quiet until fall, it feels like FSU fans are scattered right now. Some are locked in on baseball, some riding the basketball momentum, others celebrating the dominance of women's sports, and even some watching Charlie Woods and thinking about future legacy ties to the program. It made me wonder, when football struggles or goes quiet, does the overall success of other FSU sports actually strengthen the brand and keep fan energy alive? Or does nothing truly fill the void left by a struggling football program? In today's college sports world, is FSU becoming more of a all-sports powerhouse? Or will we always ultimately be judged and defined by football alone?
Yeah. So what's the first part of the question? Does it help the brand when other sports are good?
When football struggles, does the overall success of the other sports actually keep Florida State relevant and keeps the logo marketable? I don't know, man. We're such a football program. I mean, we are a quintessential football school. Shout out to our academics on the rise. Probably couldn't get into Florida State in this day and age, but I don't think the Charlie Woods thing was really cool, though, and that was everywhere.
That was on
everywhere.
The bottom line. That was on the ESPN bottom line scroll. Yeah.
So it's cool to see Lonnie make it out to Oklahoma City every now and then. It was cool to see Link make it to Omaha. Leonard making some of those runs later on in his career. Those are cool, but I mean, ultimately, when people hear Florida State, think about Florida State, it's like the football team, and if the football team isn't doing well, it's like, man, they must be having a miserable time in Florida right now. So
I would say it I would ask it back, what is the Florida Gator brand right now? They're good at a lot of sports and always are. But how much are they in the public sports, college sports consciousness because they're good at track and field and softball and baseball? I don't.
Well, they're reigning national champs in basketball. Right?
And that's actually a sport that does move the needle, although not as much as it used to. It is still it's the second biggest sport. I would just think it's like soccer. Florida State's awesome at soccer, and they're very good at softball. They're probably going to be good at baseball. Those move the needle a little bit, but you're not going from empty to full on those. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking at a gas needle, you're going to a quarter full. They just football is the bread. It's by far the most important needle mover in the country when it comes to college athletics, and especially at a place like Florida State. So, no, I mean, it's cool that they can be good at other sports and can offset it, but everything, this show, our site, people's fandom and passion about their university, a lot of it boils down to how good the football team is. And as we know, the last 2 years, it's not been great. Still love the school, still want all the other sports to do good, but most people would trade, I don't think this is crazy, Aslan. I think most people would trade the 5 soccer national championships for 1 more football national championship.
Yeah. That'd be like a 95% yes.
Yeah.
to no kind of vote.
Yeah, it's a soccer show around here. We love soccer. We just interviewed the guy, Brian Pinsky. Great conversation. By the way, Spencer, our friend Spencer, said he really enjoyed that interview and liked Brian Pinsky. So, dude,
everybody somebody shouted you out on the message board. They said they really liked the interview. So, find the thread.
Thank you, whoever you are. Yeah. I appreciate it.
So I don't know. So is it to your point that, like, even though Florida's won 3 national titles now in basketball, men's basketball, and their baseball program was riding high there for a little bit, that still is not. They've never been known. I mean, it was like a nice thing, I guess, for them nationally, but Florida fans still desperately wanted their football team to return to its glory days. I don't think anybody ever, even nationally, walked off that logo, that brand being like no longer synonymous with football, like passionate.
Yeah. It's all Florida's always a football school, even though they haven't really honestly been relevant for 17 years now. I mean, Tim Tebow graduated 16 years ago. I think he graduated, right? He was there forever, I assume. By the way, if Tim Tebow was still in college, he'd play for 11 years. He would never want to go pro. They'd figure out a way to keep him eligible until he was 36. He'll probably try to come back and play for Florida again. So Florida's won a lot of things in between there. And basketball is not a great. I think basketball does resonate, and the other sports resonate to a little extent. But your overall athletic program, when you're a football school in the South, it just comes down to how the football team is doing. I think I went to the University of Georgia. When I was there, the football team was not good at all. They had 1 10-win season. The rest was a bunch of Jim Donnan and Ray Goff years. And but they were always good at like swimming and tennis, and nobody cared. The small group of people cared. Nobody else cared because they couldn't win more than 5 or 6 games in the SEC, and Spurrier kept beating them like a drum. So now it's different.
We should get somebody from LSU, like not on the show, but maybe their opinion, because I feel like in the '90s with Skip Bertman, they were always in Omaha and they were winning College World Series, but their football team was terrible.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know. That's the thing for me though. I realize living, in the South, working in Mississippi and Alabama for a number of years, like I get it, man. I realize how important LSU football is to the entire state of Louisiana, but also as a guy who's 43 years old, my formative years watching the sport, they were terrible. So it's like, really, like LSU's like this football, like, oh, Jimbo Fisher would leave FSU in a heartbeat for LSU. LSU's a play. Like, what? Excuse me? But they got the money, man.
I will say, what is Indiana good at? Because they haven't been good at men's basketball really in a good long while. And I think Mark Spitz was a swimmer there. Is that right? So are they like a swimming school?
Let's look it up.
Mark Spitz, everyone. We're Olympic minded right now. He won 7 gold medals in the 1972 Olympics. I think he was in India. I think he swam in Indiana.
He did.
Correct. He did.
Yes.
But I don't know if they're like a national power. That's just the most random thing ever. I don't know what like Indiana's best sport is. Maybe they're great at like women's cross country or diving or tennis. I don't know. But I can tell you this, their brand was never more popular, probably ever, than it was a couple weeks
ago. A month ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what they did in football, they see now. That fan base that never mattered, never cared, never embraced that sport, they see what having a great college football team can do for the entire university. So it's what moves the needle, man, more than anything else.
What moves the needle for you and your friends is a good time out. And that can be had at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on a very modest budget, if you will, everybody. Delicious food, ice cold drinks, and reasonable prices. And really nice folks. It's always a great time over at the CP Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Daily lunch specials, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., only $8.99, entree and a side dish. They've got that happy hour weekdays, 4 to 7 p.m. all day on Sundays. They have Corey Wrap on the menu. Oh, yeah. Bingo on Thursdays. Trivia on Tuesdays.
Nachos, Aslan. I want to throw that out there. We had nachos a few nights ago, and I don't order them enough. Great. Just loaded to the brim with everything you'd want on nachos. And how sometimes you order nachos, like a shareable nachos, like chicken nachos or something. Yeah. And all the stuff will be on top. And after you've eaten that first layer, it's just a bunch of dry chips. Not a Corner Pocket, man. There's some queso underneath the chips. So you're still dipping and diving the whole time.
Dipping and diving. That needs to go on a T-shirt. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, cptallybar.com, the website.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
In Crawfordville, your home convenience store is Ace Home Center and Napa Auto Parts, located at 2709 Crawfordville Highway. Going to throw you for a loop, Corey. Going to get right back to it. Usually I count down, everybody. I would count down and be like, we're back. But we're just rolling on Big River, or whatever Jeff says.
That's right.
In that last part of hour number 2 of Seminole Headlines. Good show, by the way. Enjoyed
Thanks,
it.
buddy.
Even though it wasn't a lot of, it was back halved was football. Front end was a lot of
it's hard.
Oops.
It's hard here in middle of February. Not even middle yet. We're getting close to the middle, but not quite the middle yet.
I get it. DJ R-Star, wake up, gentlemen. I have a long history with FSU baseball. My dad and I went to games, including Summer League, all the way back to the end of the Woodward era.
Wow.
Was he the last one before 11 took over?
But yeah, because he was right. Or was he before Hauser? I thought he was in between Hauser and 11.
No, I think
because Hauser went and managed the Yankees, which is insane that happened. I guess it's not, because Buster just did it with the Tennessee coach, for the San Francisco. Now he's the San Francisco Giants manager.
Yeah. Woodward was there 75 to 78,
and then Dick Hauser, right?
Yeah,
for only a year or 2. Sorry,
there's so much more pressure on me now.
I put you on the spot. I thought you looked
79.
Right at.
Yeah, 79, 1 year. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We need the whole
Steinbrenner saw what he liked what he saw, and hired him for the Yankees.
Yeah, what's the whole I don't know if it's urban legend, but was that like Florida State was so, quote unquote, invested in baseball. They were one of the rare college teams that actually had like phone lines in their dugout so they could communicate like to the bullpen. And apparently like somebody from the Yankees, maybe even George Steinbrenner himself, like literally called like the dugout asking for him, or he picked up the phone. Like,
oh, really? Of course.
Yeah. So, anywho, back to the question.
I think the Yankees used to play exhibitions against Florida State at this. I guess it wasn't called Dick Hauser Stadium back then.
Yeah.
I wonder what it was called before Dick Hauser Stadium.
All right.
It's a little trivia question, everyone. Somebody, hey, tell us in the comments. What was Dick Hauser Stadium called before they renamed it Dick Hauser Stadium?
I went to camps. I retrieved foul balls. DJ R-Star says, I even remember seeing Reggie Jackson and an elderly Yogi Berra when the Yankees played a friendly against FSU, as Corey referenced. We've been a very good program as long as I can remember. My question is this. Is there any logical explanation for why we've never won it all? Was it a coaching style that didn't work in Omaha? Did it become a mental block for the coaches or kids at some point? Just bad luck? I'm grateful our program seems as strong as ever, but what will it take to get over the hump in this new era?
Yeah, a lot of luck, a lot of talent, and a lot of luck. And no, I don't think there's a rhyme or reason for something like that. Because unless you just think Mike Martin can't coach, which is silly, there's no reason to. There's no logical reason why his teams that would win 48 or 52 games or whatever it is. And I want to reiterate, win a bunch of postseason games to get to Omaha. It wasn't like you just had a good regular season. It wasn't like the 50s in Major League Baseball where if you won the pennant, you were just in the World Series. You had to still go win postseason games, high-pressure postseason games to even get to Omaha. And then you'd have to win games in Omaha to get to the championship series, which at least he played for the championship twice. So, no, I would say the only grief I would ever give 11 for the way he managed in the postseason isn't even really a postseason issue as much as, and Jeff brings it up all the time, Jeff Cameron, that in the 90s when those bats were so loaded and he had so many incredible hitters, he was laying down a lot of bunts still. And that was not maybe the most efficient way to use a bat in like 1995 or 1996 or 93 or whatever. But other than that, man, I just think there is no logical reason. There's no logical reason that Gonzaga's never won a national title in basketball. There's a very logical reason why they've never done it in baseball. But in basketball, they've been in the tournament for 30 years straight. They've made multiple Final Fours. They've been undefeated going into the final game of the season, and they've never won it. It's just bad luck, and sometimes the opponent makes the play and you don't. But it's hard to say. I guess I would say that doesn't absolve Mike Martin or anybody else from blame in the moment. But collectively, when you're looking at whatever it's 22 times or 20 times they've been out there, there's not like one underlying theme, one connective tissue for all those teams where they just didn't have this, or they were mentally soft, or they weren't good enough defensively, or they didn't have enough pitching. There wasn't one little connection between those teams. It's just baseball's hard, and it's hard to win the last game of the season.
Yeah, because a certain cluster of those attempts or those runs, it was Mike Martin, man. It was him, thoroughly him. And then some of it was him and his son. And maybe Meat had a little bit more of an oversized presence in some of the decisions, maybe not. And then we went out there with Link Jarrett, and you were up. Listen, man, that game one, they should have won. He went. That was strike three. Game's over. Shouldn't have got that close, though. I mean, they were up three or what were they? Like 3 runs in the 8th, or maybe even going into the 9th. Yeah,
I think there were at least 3 runs in the 8th.
And then
now they're facing an incredible lineup.
Yes.
Now. And what issue you could have with Link's team, and it's not really his fault, but not a great bullpen. After Jamie, you had to patch together to get those final 12 or 14 outs, which has kind of been a problem. But that's a problem for a lot of college baseball programs. There's not a lot of just elite, infinite arms out there to use. And honestly, Cam Leiter never throwing a single meaningful pitch while he was at Florida State.
Well, he had meaningful pitches.
He pitched. He blew out. He dominated Rhode Island or somebody in February. He never pitched a meaningful game. I don't even know if he ever pitched an ACC game.
You're right.
For 2 years, and if he's healthy either one of those years, he might be the difference between, losing Game 3 in Corvallis or winning it all 2 weeks later in Omaha or beating Tennessee that week. So that's a little bit of bad luck. You didn't have a guy that you really thought you were going to have.
Also, to go back to that Tennessee game, and this thing, I always just think about the amount of times that 11 not only went out to Omaha, but made to the postseason, right? It's like, listen, man, these are my principles. I'm going to stick with them. Like, this is who I am. I'm riding and dying with what I believe in. Man, there had to have been some times where he even faded himself, right? I can't believe he would just go, I'm doing it, stick. I mean, you start third guessing yourself so many times. To bring it back to in 24, Diamez Ross was a defensive substitute for Link a lot of that season. He comes into the game in center field and instantly is tested, and they send a rocket towards him, and it was catchable.
Yeah.
And that's a defensive sub. And I'm not trying to pile on the poor kid here, but you're there for this situation. This is like bringing in almost like a big time pass rusher, and it's 3rd and 11. Like, you got to get off the field to win the game, and he can't get home. But it's almost worse than that, though. But yeah, man, he is not able to track down a fly ball that would have been able to help the cause. So, and there's been shades of bad luck. I mean, there was a ball went under the glove of an outfielder in right field in 17 against LSU, and the relay was sloppy. There's a pass ball third strike, a swinging strike 3 that got past Cal Raleigh that brought in a run. I mean, anything that could have happened. So that's why it defies logic, because it's been, to your point, Corey, there hasn't been
and
one
I would just say, even we spent too long on this, but even because, again, Mike Martin made some errors. No coach is perfect. No manager is perfect. Maybe not developing more arms through the course of the season. So he did have one guy like Mike McGee that just was exhausted. His arm was done by the time he was pitching in a deciding game in Omaha. And because there was not enough people developed, because Mike Martin was so competitive in those early season games in February and March, he'd keep running out his go-to guys to make sure they won that game. Maybe at the expense of them being fresher later in the season in Omaha. His argument could be, well, I'm not sure we get to Omaha if we don't win those games in March and April. So there's always a give and take when it comes to stuff like that. And that's a sloppy play against LSU in 2017. It's a sloppy play. Well, that's not bad luck. That's just bad fundamentals. But it's also not like Mike Martin told the kid, hey, man, rush up as quick as you can, and you don't have to look the ball in your glove. Just come up firing. If it's in your glove, it's in your glove. That's not how they're coached. Just sometimes they made bad mistakes at bad moments. But also, he had a lot of guys that made great plays in the postseason and did a lot of wonderful things in the postseason. I'll never forget them upsetting Georgia his last year. Somehow beating Georgia in Athens, which was a top 8 national seed, and then going on the road and sweeping LSU in Baton Rouge. That's how he finished his season. But then he finished it in Omaha with another loss. But he was still the same coach he was 2 weeks before that.
Tim Becker, remember, like FSU
the great
intramural?
Tim Becker. What a story that was. That was an incredible story.
That was. Next question, we go to random_John. At some point, I'm going to just start calling him Random John.
Yeah, that's probably
today wasn't the day. Good morning, Aslan and Corey. Serious question on the new strategy assistant hire. What exactly is the strategy? Is it to build a roster to compete in the current NIL arms race, or are we still waiting on guardrails to save us? Because hiring a strategy assistant sounds great unless the strategy is just, quote, hope regulation fixes it. And is this person empowered to compete in today's market, or just to do the best they can around constraints we've already accepted? This is one of the better exchanges in Warchant history in recent years, Corey. So this is the Gabe Fertitta rehire, however you want to frame it. So he was a Florida State for a few years. I think he started at Madison Academy in Baton Rouge. He was a high school head football coach. Got hired at Florida State, helped out with the offensive line. When Alex Atkins was suspended for those games in 24,
he was Alex's guy, right? They knew each other from their time in Louisiana, right?
I don't know if that's the case.
I thought because Alex was in Tulane, I thought I definitely know they had some sort of relationship before Florida State.
That checks out. So he left after 24 to take the OC job at Nicholls State, which is where he comes back to Florida State from. So me being who I am, because a couple people, I wasn't the first one to be like, well, roll my eyes. A couple people are like, all right, man, this is cool. All right, I like this. It's like director of strategy. That's my thing. It's like these titles that they're giving people, man, like, what are we doing? Yeah. But anyway, so I post, I'm like, in case you're wondering, here's how they performed on offense in Thibodaux, Louisiana last year, which is where Nicholls State is at. So I put spoiler. So you can do a spoiler on the message boards, of course. So you can type something out and it's hidden. You actually have to click a button to read it.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
So I'm like, I'm not going to ruin your day. I'm like, if you're a masochist and you want to know how he did last year at Nicholls State, here you go. So then a couple of people replied to it. So they were like in the low hundreds, and there's 126 FCS teams. So not great. And Ira comes in there, and Ira's like, well, this is where they were at in 2024. And they actually finished better. So they moved up a couple spots and stuff.
Yeah.
And then a couple people were like, why did you report this, Aslan, without the context that Ira provided? And then somebody was like, oh, I know why. And he needs to stop doing it. It was insane. But I love that Ira.
What was the implication?
I guess I'm just like, I don't know. I'm trying to torpedo the program or something, I guess, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, I was just like, Ira's like, I'm like, Ira, really, man? Like we're going to come over the top to smooth over the fourth ranked rushing offense in conference there. But anyway, so to the question though, this is not a GM personnel guy. I mean, I think he's more, I don't want to say strategy for lack of a better word, but yeah, like film study, right? Like he's a guy that I think, I reported that, he's a guy that Norvell valued because he had a really good eye for breaking down film, finding little things, tendencies that opponents would do and trying to take advantage of them. He's also here when they went 2-10 though. So went to Nicholls State. I'm sure he's trying to be upwardly mobile, but then he comes back. So just, I don't know. I don't hate the hire by any stretch, man. It could only help. There's no way it's a net negative. I just don't think it's any kind of like, oh man, like this is all coming together, man. We're running it back with John Garrett and Gabe Fertitta and Mike at the helm and calling plays, and we're all good to go. So it's just, listen, if you got the money to pay somebody to help out with film and preparation, you could use all the help you could use. So
I was kind of hoping because I just reread the email that Florida State sent, the release about the hire, just so they would describe, like maybe put in 2 sentences what exactly what is it called? The director of strategy?
I think so. I'll pull it up.
What does that even mean? Like, what does that entail? There's the quote from Norvell talking about he'll be a great asset because he knows the offense. He's worked with him before. That's fair and that's fine and that's what he's here for. But it's such an odd title.
Yeah, man, just say that he's a senior offensive analyst, senior offensive assistant.
It's fine.
Cool.
Why not?
Cool.
What's wrong?
He is director of football strategy and offensive assistant.
That's fine. Hey, man,
So, like,
we're all making up titles.
Well, you go for it on 4th and 8 from your own 30, and it's like, hey, man, great strategy. You know,
But
he's got that's not his. That wasn't his
it's not
idea.
yeah, he's not directing that strategy.
Yeah.
So, but hey, man, just come up with as cool a titles as you can.
Yeah.
They got to string some words together to have a different title other than just coach. So they keep doing it.
Wadata 80.
I'm senior writer. I can't just be Warchant writer. I got to be senior writer because I'm old.
Well, no, it signifies like rank and like importance of like what you're saying. That's what like director of football strategy to me sounds like a really, really big deal. Like
I'll be honest with you,
offensive coordinator.
Director of football strategy to me sounds like head coach.
Yeah,
I feel like that butters all that's one of the head coach's jobs.
All right. Wadata says this is no longer a joke and the university should really lean into a rebranding strategy. FSU is clearly a golf school now, given the whole having a competent football team thing is no longer in vogue. We should just stop pretending Doak is a football venue, start hosting long drive contests, putt tournaments, maybe even convert the place into a giant The Golf League simulator. I mean, if we're going to lean into our strength, let's really lean. Speaking of golf, now that Big Cat will be prowling around Tallahassee, what are some ways we could capitalize on the buzz around Tiger? Like maybe instead of T-shirt cannons at the basketball games, we could have Tiger tee up some donut holes and fire those into the crowd. Or maybe we should just craft a full putt-putt course on campus and the students could putt their way to the next classroom. The possibilities exist. I'm just not smart enough to know how to make it happen. You gents, on the other hand.
I'm genuinely curious how much he's going to be around. Like, is he a dad that goes watch it? Does he go watch Charlie play every competitive junior round? And how much security does he have with him?
When you look him up in our photo database, like the national photo database, you type in Charlie Woods, there's more than one occasion where there's photos of like Tiger at an event that he's playing at. I mean, it's more than one. It's not 9, but it was more than one. So, yeah, if he's, I don't know. Listen, I shouldn't say this out loud. Like, I'm not exactly sure the format of college golf these days, but if he's like one of your main 4 or 5 guys that goes out, like I would think, like if it's his first start, like if he's not one of the first 5 guys out the first or 2 tournaments, and then he eventually is, like he knows he's going to be, I would think Dad would probably find a way to come out to it, especially if it's in Tallahassee. That's a quick jet stream plane right away.
I think the way college golf works is if you have 7 guys, you'll start 7 guys and you take the 5 best scores that day. And then you do it again the next day and then the next day. And that's how you get your aggregate.
Thank you, Corey.
Yeah. So I don't know. Charlie is not as good as the other kid that's coming in that class. I think he's ranked as a junior, but not number 1. Yeah. But the name is the name. And I can promise you, Florida State will be spending the next, because Charlie Woods doesn't start in Tallahassee for another 16 months because he's still just a junior. Although it'd be nice if he enrolled early, Aslan. I'll be honest with you. All these football players can. Yeah. You could be on the golf team in 2027.
Reclassify, Charlie.
Reclassify, man. Take some classes, reclassify. It'll be interesting because if you've ever been to a college golf tournament, it doesn't sound like Aslan has. If you've ever been to a college golf tournament, there's nobody out there. There's, especially if it's not like an NCAA event, there's 40 people out there maybe, and a lot of them are family or coaches. There's not a lot of bystanders. There's not a lot of just fan activity. This will be different if his dad or even his mom, who's a very wealthy lady, and as I remember, quite attractive. She might bring people out to the course to see them. You know what I'm saying? Like more people will come to watch Charlie's dad watch Charlie play golf than to actually watch Charlie play golf. It's going to be and I also wonder if Tiger just wants to give him his space and won't be out there that much. But either way, bilk him for as much money as you can. You need all the money. He's worth $1.3 billion according to Forbes, even after the divorce, which good grief. So go get some of that. Just go get 0.3 of it. You're not asking for $1 billion, Aslan. Just go get 0.3.
That'd be awesome if Tiger was like a loud parent, right? Like Charlie like skulls one, like, what the? just
your head out of your ass. Yeah, that kind of guy.
Your grandpa's rolling around in his grave right
You're
now.
You're embarrassing my name.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, his dad wasn't like that when he was. Dad was like that when he was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
Probably not like that when Tiger was 18.
FSU Brett. How long has he been around? September or December 2023. I need to start doing that.
Is Tiger still one of like one of the 3 to 5 most famous athletes on the planet? Like the fact that his son commits to play golf somewhere and that's on the bottom line and it's a headline. It's on the ESPN bottom line scroll. I mean,
I'd say top 10 for sure.
Famous?
I would say top 10 for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I think there's not a boxer that's more famous than him, right? Besides Jake Paul.
Floyd Mayweather. I don't think Floyd Mayweather is more famous than him. I mean, obviously MJ still. Shohei just on a global scale. But
yeah, that's close. I bet that's close. Yeah, Shohei, Tiger,
Messi, Ronaldo,
LeBron,
one of those
Messi. Tiger's probably in the top. I think he's in the top 5.
Yeah. FSU Brett, probably not a good answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway. That's the way to lead into your question on the Renegade Express.
Man, there is an answer to this, Brett. Listen to this.
We all know that FSU is going to leave the ACC ASAP. Most folks are thinking the next realignment will be 2030. Please tell me that there are at least some rumblings in the back room somewhere that it won't be that long. As long as offseason is good for dreaming big, what is the probability that we could hear an announcement this summer that FSU is leaving the ACC?
I would say the probability of that is not high. They intentionally settled. They're whittling down.
They are.
They're whittling down the buyouts all over the place. That's what Florida State is using 2026. It's the year of the whittle. You were whittling down Mike Norvell's buyout by letting him coach, and you probably are going to whittle down the buyout to get out of this conference by a substantial amount by staying in it for 1 to 2 to 3 more years. And honestly, I don't know that there's anywhere to go right now. Like, there's nobody that wants to go anywhere right now. So right now it would be $165, the exit fee to leave the ACC. If you wait a year, it drops $18 million. And then if you wait to 2030, it's dropped to $75 million total. So it's $90 million over the next 4 years if you wait it out. And yeah, man, because there's no league to join right now because they're all kind of locked into their deals. And the great reshuffling that we think will happen if there's still college football in 4 years will be when these contracts expire in 2030. So you just kind of, like you're having to do this year with the football program and the football coach that's still here, you kind of just have to grin and you just have to wear it. Mm-hmm. You have to grin and bear it. You got to wear it, and you got to hope things get better. Now they have. We'll see how much money they ended up making off the ratings. The way they pull the money together based on ratings. Those recalculations, they will have made some more money there, and I'd like to see that money added to what they get for just the regular money they get for the conference. How close that is to the 70 that Florida got. That all those SEC teams got like 70.1. If Florida State gets it up to, 56, you're in the kind of the same ballpark.
I want to say,
but also get good in this conference. Like it would behoove Florida State to maybe win some games in this flipping conference, to then want to win games here before you want to jump into the Big Ten and get your head kicked in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I also get it's like we want to get out of here so we have the money to get rid of the guy if we need to get rid of the guy sooner than later. I get that part of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, sadly, ironically, listen, man, Florida State's the one that took all the arrows for everybody. And then Clemson kind of came behind a little bit and drafted off of us. But yeah, man, the number out there I saw, and I'm looking at, Front Office Sports reported at this, I think since they made it all the way to the national title game, like Miami made $20 million in success initiative revenue that goes to them and them alone. So
plus they're probably going to get some more money because of the eyeballs. Like the farther they went in the playoffs, the more those ratings matter.
Yeah. So I shouldn't say success initiatives, but yeah, the way the ratings kind of work out, they had that many more games. They played A&M, Ohio State, Ole Miss. They played 4 more games.
Wouldn't it only make sense that that's only factored into the regular season? Because that's a regular season payout. Like the success initiative makes perfect sense. Miami earned it. Florida State didn't earn those win at A&M. They didn't go and beat Ohio State. Miami gets all that money, and they should. But the ratings, I feel like it should be what you did for the league during the fall. Yeah. How many eyeballs did you draw to your network? Did you draw the conference regular season conference games, or just the regular season games overall? I think should matter. So now that I think about it, I hope they don't factor in playoffs.
According to Front Office Sports here, this was written at the end of December, so this is before I think they ended up playing Ohio State. So they made $8 million by making it to the CFP. I'm sorry, for making it to the CFP, they made $4 million. By advancing to the quarterfinals, by beating A&M, they made another $4 million. They beat Ohio State. That gave them $6 million more. And the teams that advanced the national title earned another $6 million. So the ACC also receives $3 million for each round the Canes advance to cover travel expenses. So I don't know, the ACC is probably pocketing some of that $3 million. I don't think they use it all on their travel expenses. But yeah, I get it, man. The money is such an important part of this entire thing, and you want to be in a conference that's going to give you the most amount of it. But listen, like, is Miami right now sitting down and boo-hooing the ACC like, oh, this conference sucks?
No, exactly right. And they didn't even run through it unscathed. No. They lost twice and still got in. And again, I want to reiterate, like, now, yes, I want to be in the SEC. I've made that abundantly clear. I think it would be awesome. It'd be awesome for the city. It'd be awesome for Florida State fans to be in the SEC. But as it stands right now, let's just pretend that Florida State can be really good in 27. Like, they might have a very good football team in 27. Well, you have a good football team. What would you pay to not have to play Tennessee, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, and Texas back to back and replace them with Clemson, Boston College, Pitt, Wake, and NC State? Like, to me, that's worth a lot of money, avoiding that slate. So yes, you don't get to compete with coaching salaries maybe, or players' salaries, but you would. You're in the neighborhood. Maybe all these things will be reined in. And I'm just saying in the short term now. I'm talking about the next 2 years. I want this team to get back to 9 or 10 wins. And that needs to happen very quickly. Hopefully this year. But maybe by 2027, your chances of having a better team and your chances, I think, of being in a playoff in 2027 are much, much better in the ACC than if you were competing with that gauntlet I just threw out there.
Boom. Corey speaks. We all listen. He's on the mark.
That's funny.
Summit 2001. Good morning, fellas. Wake up.
That looks like a long one.
It is. It's about softball. I just can't get enough of it. FSU's product has been top-notch for several years now. In my opinion, Issa Torres, maybe the best player in the country, possibly the best all-around athlete FSU has at the moment. Makai Danzy would like a word, Summit 2001. But no,
Issa Torres has accomplished more than him. Yeah, so far, but yeah. Danzy's on the right track.
I say this not only due to her on-field production, but her overall attitude and demeanor. She leads by example with elite batting, elite base running, elite defense. But what makes her even greater is literally every time another player does something well, she's the first one there with a congratulative or congratulatory?
Congratulatory. Congratulative might be a word too.
Okay, we'll go with it. With a congratulative tap, smile, wink, whatever. Her buy-in and leadership must run deep within that team and entire program. Is that what has been missing within the football program? It seems to have a bunch of I and me type players, none of which have been able to lead. Will we have a true leader this season? Can it be Wisner, one of the emerging quarterbacks, a Desir? I truly feel if one player can get behind the coaches, even with all the adversity, and have the personality to get players to follow, it could make all the difference in the world. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think with Issa, though, it's a tough comparison because there's nobody on the football team, as far as I know, that is as good as she is at softball. You know what I mean? Like, she's literally one of the best players in the country, might be the best shortstop in the country, and probably was last year too. So even if she was not a good person, and by all accounts she's a great person, she would be a really important part in it, and she'd be a winning softball player. What makes her special, and I talked to Lonnie about this last week, or at least I've always talked to Lonnie about this, is she really does seem to enjoy other people's success more than her. But it's easy to be that person when you're always having great success too. You know what I mean? Like, take the kid that's hitting 150. And how excited is he that Issa got another 4 hits? Like, maybe not as excited, but I think there are just people that are unique to this world that are perfect for sports. I don't think Issa Torres cares if she goes 0 for 3 or 3 for 3 as long as her team wins. She usually goes 3 for 3 more than she goes 0 for 3. But also, I bet she's a great student. I bet she's a really good friend. I've never talked to her. I've never said a word to her. There are some people that are just built like that, man. They're just the perfect type of athlete where they are great at what they do. They work really hard at what they do. They're a leader in that regard because they're a hard worker, but they also understand how important everybody else is. And they really do enjoy when somebody makes a great play or gets a big hit. She's a little bit unique, but also she's awesome. So the fact that she's awesome on the field is what matters most. And they have missed out on. They have not had enough Issa Torreses, period. Whether by personality trait or by talent, the skill level on the field. That's what they've been missing out. It would be nice. I'm trying to think of like the last like great player they had that was just care and loved. Jordan, I guess, maybe Jordan
man.
Travis.
I mean, dude, Verse, all those guys. Jarian Jones loved Norvell. I do wonder.
Yeah, but Jared Verse was not the kind of teammate that Issa Torres was. He was a different kind of leader. He was not in practice. He was not hugging the offensive lineman after a rep. You know what I mean? Like
you're right.
He was on them.
Well, I mean, it's also, I think, because Jordan had such command of that team and that locker room because of all that he had been through. I mean, I know he enrolled at Louisville out of high school, but he was pretty much a Florida State guy. Thought about quitting the game, all these things.
Positions, yeah.
Yeah, so like he ends up, sticking it out. It's like, man, you look at this, and he obviously believes wholeheartedly in Mike Norvell's approach. So when he does that and he's helping lifting everybody else up around him, it's like, all right, man, like I'm all in. Like that is a force multiplier, not in just like on-field production, but yeah, to get everybody on board to have that level of desire. Because I do think about last year, Corey, you guys mentioned on headlines that quote in the Gator write-up about John Sumrall told his team that, listen, like if our GPA dips a little bit, but we win more football games, I'm okay with it. And then, Ira was like, I don't think that's a good way to talk to your team. That's not setting a good precedent. I don't know if Gus was really all about anything else other than ball.
Yeah.
Not that he was like, I don't care how you do in school, but I really think with him, it was just so much like, this is my offense. This is what I run. Figure it out. It's easy. Everyone else has done it for 20 years. Figure it out. Go out there, execute the plays. I'm going to put you in position to be successful. Just don't drop the ball. See the hole that's being opened. Just do your job. That, like, I don't think there was that level of, he has a different level of command and respect that Norvell has. But like what Norvell had in 2023, beyond just the talent of that locker room, was like that level of belief in him, that level of command. Yeah, man, that is something they have been missing for 2 years now. And I don't know if a guy like Trey Wisner, who said all the right things, but hasn't been at Florida State for longer than 6 weeks, and by the time I take on New Mexico State, it'll only be about 7 months. I don't know if that guy's going to be able to really command the way a guy like Jordan Travis did or Jameis did, or the way Issa Torres does, obviously, Corey. So, but it is something
you
got
to be good at what you do. And I was thinking of somebody recently that kind of strikes me as built the same way, was Trey Benson. Trey Benson to me had an Issa Torres type personality where I'll tell you this too, Aslan. There was no other Florida State podcast that mentions Issa Torres as much as this one. It compares great football players to the starting shortstop at Florida State. So tell your friends, if your friends are softball fans. We love that team. We love that program, and she's awesome. But Trey Benson was the guy where if a backup running back hit a long run, he was sprinting down the sideline with him. Like, he was really celebrating with them too. So those types of players are invaluable. But the first part is you got to get good players. You want them to be good people and good teammates. But if they're not, it does not matter how good a teammate they are for the overall goals of the team. It doesn't matter if they're the best person in the world and they're going to go to a monastery for the rest of their lives after they're done playing football, or save orphanages, or build orphanages. Both. Build them and save them. Keep them upright and then build some more. Make it a corporation. Make some real money off your orphanages. It doesn't matter if you can't play. You got to be able to play.
Somebody asked, like, hey, if practice is open, like, what are you guys going to be looking for? And might have mentioned this like in passing, but you mentioned to win in Omaha, like you need some luck, but you also need a lot of talent. Man, like we've seen it now. Like we've seen it in multiple sports. We can even talk about basketball. That team that COVID robbed, like with Trent Forrest and T-Man and like that and Scotty Barnes, like the level.
Well, not T-Man or Scotty Barnes. You went 1 for 3 on that one.
Terrible.
Patrick Williams, Devin Vassell. Yeah.
Kevin Gelly was gone. Kevin Gelly left us.
Kevin Gelly was gone too. Yeah.
Never forget.
Hey,
Never
man,
forget
why doesn't he come back and play?
I know.
I bet he's 30 years old now. He'd be awesome in the post for Luke's team.
We've seen it, man. We saw that 24 team on baseball. Like that was, you guys talked about in headlines. It was ridiculous. Like Alex Lodi's batted 7th in that lineup.
Yeah.
Like 1 through 6 was just pure mashers. Like that is the level of overwhelming talent you need to win a national title. 2013 had it. 2023 was close, man. With Jordan Travis healthy, was right around there. Like you do need an insane, like you need a Jesse Warren, like you need this transcendent kind of player. Who was the ace that season? That kind of came out of nowhere in the postseason.
It was
and she was like a senior too. It was like it was awesome to see her go out.
Megan King, I think.
Yes.
Megan King.
Yeah, it's just
boom.
Just caught fire for like the last month of the season. Like let's be honest, man. I get it. War paint's out there somewhere. Coaches coach, players play. I get it. But we know what things need to look like. When Mike says it, I guess we believe him too. Yeah, we all can tell Jared versus great. You need to have just like this overwhelming amount of talent. And they're just, I don't think they're close to that, man.
Well, I just think good teams have talent. They have to. The great teams have something a little unique to them. There's something in the fiber. There's something in the culture that's just a little bit unique. Because there's a lot of really talented teams that lose 4 or 5 games. I don't know that Indiana was the most talented team in the country. There was something unique about that group, the way they were coached and the way they bonded, just like that 13 team. Well, that 13 team was overloaded with talent. But the thing about the 13 team was, yes, they out-talented everybody, but it wasn't like they just won on talent alone, because you could win on talent alone and win those games 40-24.
Yeah.
Or 31-19. You could, like they did the next year. They had plenty of talent the next year, but there was something about that 13 team where they took everything so seriously, and they would just bust the bejesus out of you from start to finish. They had something special with the way they were built.
Attitude of domination.
They did, and they lost it quick. But that was a fun year, man. That was a fun year.
That was. All right, last one. I'm glad we're doing the video only thing here, Corey, because I'm going to need your help to decipher this. North Alabama Noles got a bit of a game here, but maybe it'll generate some discussion. See what you did there.
By the way, driving up from, I don't usually drive 75 to 85, but because there was a lot of traffic on 285 coming up from Tallahassee to Atlanta, I had to go from 75 to 285. I didn't realize there's a big Cummins headquarters right there as you're driving into Atlanta. I don't know if that's the national headquarters or just the Georgia headquarters, but it's a big old building and it was all lit up with Cummins. Yeah. I should have stopped.
I think Indiana. I think our guys are somewhere in Indiana, but I'll
where Mark Spitz is from. I got you.
The reigning national champions. All roads lead back to Indiana, boys and girls. He's got a bit of a game here for us, but maybe we'll generate some discussion. Looking forward to the baseball team kicking things off Friday. We got to figure something out, everybody. And great. Go.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Leading off.
First pitch. Looking forward to first pitch.
Looking for it. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's great to see golf. They're trending towards a national contender every year. With that said, the game is, if you put all the FSU coaches in a bucket and assigned each coach to a specific sport based on priority for the university, recruiting ability, etc. Obviously for this, we have to assume the coaches are fully capable of coaching any other sport. Without going to detail, I would probably start with this below. Can't expect an exhaustive list, so maybe just a top 5 or so. So I guess he's saying he would want the baseball head coach to be the football head coach because he thinks that putting all the coaches in a bucket and assigning them based on priority to the university. So football is the biggest priority. And your best coach, I guess, is your baseball coach, which I believe in my heart of hearts, you could have Link shadow, I guess it's Kurt Cignetti now because he's the best coach who's ever lived. He could shadow Kurt Cignetti for a year. I literally think he would be able to win you a bowl game the next year as a head football coach. I swear to God, I believe that.
That personality in a football locker room, I'd be interested in it. Because he does have kind of like a Cignetti personality.
Yeah.
Cignetti doesn't seem very rah-rah at all.
No.
So maybe Link would be like that, but he's not real fiery. He seems perfect for a baseball because he's just the same dude kind of the whole time, analytical and kind of stern and straight-faced.
I think he raises that voice every now and then. Man, we see him getting chippy with the umps and stuff. Man, I think he's got a little bit of like getting on guys. He really hasn't had to though here. I mean, the team, follows his standard and all that. So Brian Penske arguably has to be the best head coach on campus right now, but he would then be your baseball head coach because of importance for the university. Baseball would be number 2. The golf head coach, Trey Jones, would be your basketball head coach. Lonnie, we would keep her at softball because according to this pecking order, he's got, I love baseball. I would rather see, just because of how gut wrenching it's been. I know this is crazy to say for probably 80 other universities. I'd rather win a College World Series than an NCAA basketball national title. But 2 of them, yeah, man, I'd rather have 2. Once we get one in baseball, everybody else can do whatever they want. But man, I want baseball to win one so bad. So let's start there, I guess. My order, I would say football, baseball, basketball.
Yeah, but do you like who he's got? He's got Link Jarrett as the football coach, Penske as the baseball coach, Trey Jones as the basketball coach, Lonnie as the softball coach, and then Norvell is the lacrosse head coach because there's no expectation.
Well, my thing is, I guess, I think Link, I don't know, man. I know Brian Penske's won 2 national titles. I respect the hell out of what Link's done. I know it's short of that, but the way that pairs up, I get it. But
look, man, it's not fair because Penske has done great. We love him. He's good. He's good on the show, and he's won 2 national titles. I think you would argue the only Lonnie is built and sustained greatness. Lonnie's built and sustained greatness over and done it a lot of different ways and in a lot of different environments, like where there's NIL or there's portal or there's a freshman class. She develops, she recruits, she retains. I would think that would be the person I would want leading somebody like that. Obviously, you're not going to have I know it's a weird game. You're not going to have a female any softball coach become the head football coach. But somebody like that has a history of maintaining and retaining greatness is really impactful. And look, man, she's had probably one of the 5 best programs in the country at Florida State for the last decade. Like one of the 5 best softball programs in the country for the last decade. Yeah, and she's a good person. And who would not want to play for Lonnie Alameda? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Jason E. Beecham does. I can tell you that much. And Easton Torres. So yeah, that's a hard game to play. I get it though. You want to put Norvell last at lacrosse. Link Jarrett, yeah, I think Link Jarrett could coach anything. And I'm not giving up on Luke yet either. Laux.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe beach volleyball. I'd put Luke there. They come right after softball. They've been close. Or golf, and then beach volleyball.
Yeah, I bet Luke can golf. He seems like a golfer. Yeah, Penske's been great. I would say, honestly though, basketball is more important than baseball. So you'd put if you think Penske's the second best coach, you'd have him as your basketball coach. It just makes more money. You're trying to make more money with your programs, and basketball makes more money than baseball. Not a ton more, I don't think, but especially with the attendance for a lot of these games this year. But it makes more money. It's a bigger money sport.
I know, but can't we just have some romanticism? Like I get it, everything's about money.
Here's the thing, though. When you actually look at that list, they've got a really good baseball coach. They've got a really good soccer coach and a really good golf coach and a really good softball coach. You know what I mean? We don't know about the lacrosse head coach, but I'm assuming she's pretty good. She hadn't lost yet. It's just football. Football is the one on that list where you're like, yeah, Yeah, not sure that guy's the guy. In fact, most of you are absolutely sure he's not the guy. But Florida State is blessed right now with some really good coaches, just not in the sport that we already admitted matters more than anything else.
All righty, so usually people do drum roll before they make their big announcement, but let's go ahead and let's fire up the generator before we make our big announcement, Corey, about who the weekly winner is. Who had the question?
Are you picking it?
Yeah, I'm going to go. But the last one was good.
Yeah,
but drum roll.
Do you want me to do one?
Yeah, no. Like do the generator thing.
Oh, you said a drum roll. That's not a drum.
Instead of drum roll, we do starting the generator.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, pushing the button, everyone. Pushing the button.
There he goes. All right, it's been the Mailbag Show. It's been presented by Cummins. Follow them on Instagram, CumminsLifestyle. I'm going to go with Summit. I like the tying in Issa Torres leadership. Okay. That's the next thing I think we're at right now with Florida State football fans. It was coming off 24. 24, we felt good about it because you went and got all these guys that were picked out by Nick Saban. We're at big time programs and like they want to come play for the Portal King. Like we like that. Didn't work out. Yeah. 2025 was let's just go get a bunch of guys that have produced. Let's get guys that produce, that are safe, that are reliable, whether it's coaches, players. And it's like, all right, well, that was okay. Mixed results. So now I think it's, man, I hope they've got people that are just team first, good energy, good guys. That kind of stuff matters even in this crazy day and age of NIL and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's kind of where a lot of people are at that are trying to feel optimistic about the program and the team's direction. And we've heard from a lot of these guys that have kind of fed into the possible narrative. So I say Summit 2001, unless you like the game that we played at the end with North Alabama.
No, that's a good one. That's a fine one. I would say, though, the person I didn't mention that I probably should have when it came to that Issa question, because you're talking about somebody that's great, but also uplifts teammates and enjoys being around other teammates and is a natural leader in that respect. Maybe Deuce. Because I think that personality is a great locker room personality. Yeah. They say he works really hard, so he leads that way too. And I don't think he's a guy that's talking a lot of noise or being aloof with his teammates. I think he's a good teammate. And when your best player is also one of your hardest workers and a genuinely good person, it would seem, that can go a long way too. And it seems like he's probably, if he's not their best player, he's in the conversation as their best player. And those kind of personalities combined with the skill set is really important.
Well said. There we go. Summit 2001. They're the winner. The winner.
Wieners.
The winner this week. They've been around since 2003. They've only posted 381 times.
Okay, that's about 20 a year. 30
picking
a year.
Their spots.
15 a year. About 15 a year.
All right, that's a wrap for us. We'll talk about softball and see how they fared the rest of the way out there in Clearwater. We'll force football some form or fashion. Who's basketball got this weekend, Corey?
They're at Virginia Tech.
Okay.
It's a tough one. Virginia Tech just beat Clemson. Just won at Clemson on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, something like that. So, yeah, going to be a tough one, but maybe the Noles can get back on the winning streak again.
All right. Well, no, maybe we'll be on video. Maybe we won't be. Hopefully, like the new format of the way we did the mailbag. It's just, let's reward who did it as opposed to Aslan.
I'm wearing a tighter shirt next time. I'm going to be as tight as – I even got the shirt, perfect shirt for it.
Nice. He's Corey Aslan. Thanks so much for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Cummins. Follow Cummins Lifestyle on Instagram.